Good morning, everyone. It is me, Jacina. I am here and we're going to be working on our stretching and meditation today. What we're going to be doing today is going to be yoga inspired. This is why I have my mat out here. You can have a mat if you want to, not needed. Just depends on you and what you have available. You can even use a towel, whatever it is that you have. But we're going to go ahead and first we're going to be doing some stretches. Some yoga while standing, and then we are going to end with some floor stretches on the yoga mat, and then ending with meditation on the floor. So feel free to kind of pick and choose what you want to do, what you're able to do here, and make it your own. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do first here, we're just going to come into our balanced foot pose first. So what we want to do is we're planting one foot down. We're going to come into tree pose. So we're going to imagine we're growing our roots down into the floor, planting that foot down into the floor, into the mat. Whatever foot you decide to start with. I'm starting with my right foot. So I'm going to grow those roots down, feeling all four points of those feet grounded down. We're not on one side or the other, or back and forth, just feeling nice and grounded. When you feel that, go ahead. We're going to bring this foot up. You can just you can either put those toes on the floor here and the ankle and the heels on the ankle, or you can come up so that foot is off of the floor. Bring this hip out, feeling kind of a nice outer hip stretch as we do this. If you want to grow, you can come up. Just make sure you do not put it directly on your knee. Our knee does not bend that way. So I want to make sure we're either putting it below, or you can use your own hand and kind of put it above. Depends on what kind of pants you have on. Mine are kind of slick. I'm going to put it right above knee here. If you want, you can grow those hands out. And just finding a focus point, having something to stare at on the wall or the floor helps a lot with balance. Good. Go ahead, come out and switch. I'm going to shake that out. I'm going to grow my left foot down now. Growing those roots down, feeling all 4 points of that foot. And then we can come out into that tree pose. Toes can be on the floor. You can stay here, opening up that hip. Feeling that nice hip mobility. You can come up here. Or even higher if you want to. Make it your own. When you want, and if you want, grow those hands up overhead. Breathe, relax the face. And release. Awesome. Shaking that out. Next, we're gonna go ahead, kind of create some energy into a little bit more of a warm up. So we're just gonna kind of come side to side here, just kind of letting those hands loose. We're not really controlling our arms, our limbs right now. Just coming side to side, back and forth, creating that energy. Feels good, getting that spinal twist and those arms just fly away. If you're loosen those shoulder joints as we do this. You can come faster if you want, or you can slow it down. Up to you. Great thing about exercise in general is you can make it your own. Just moving and being here and being present is a good thing. Good. Go ahead, nice and slow, kind of come out of that. Okay, taking a deep breath, we're gonna grow one hand up above our head. Gonna grow the opposite hand above our head. Gonna clasp our fingers, pulling our palms up towards the ceiling. We're gonna come into a side bend or side stretch. So just reaching out, feeling a stretch underneath that armpit all the way down. If you even want to sink into the hips a little bit more, come into more of a side bend, feel free, or to stay here. Awesome. Nice and slow, using the core, standing up. Gonna switch. You can just come into a side stretch here, or we can get those hips involved. Oh, good work. Coming up, let those hands just fall nice and controlled down to our sides. Rolling the shoulders up to the ears and back down. All right, we're gonna do a combination move next. We're gonna do a forward fold plus an overhead cactus. So when we're doing a forward fold, we want to hinge our hips back behind us. Legs can stay straight. If you want to start off with a little bit of a bend here, that's fine until we get a little bit more stretched out. Reaching down. If you're able to get to your hands to the floor, to your feet, feel free. I am not able to this morning. I'm a little bit stiff. So you can either put your hands on your shins here, just do not press backwards on the knee again, or you can put them right here, bending down. Let's just let the head hang loose into ragdoll. So we're feeling a stretch behind our legs here. I like to close my eyes and just take a couple of breaths, feeling that stretch. Maybe reaching down just a little bit further with every exhale. Nice and slow. What I want us to do is bend those knees, squeeze those glutes. We're going to stand up. We're going to bring those hands over our head. And then once we're in this area, we're going to cactus down. So we're going to bring those hands, we're going to bend at the elbows. We're going to pull back here, kind of puffing out our chest, but still engaging our low back. We don't want to do a whole lot of a back bend here, but we're trying to just engage out our chest, bringing those shoulder blades down our spine. Okay. Just going to move through this a couple more times, reaching down a little bit quicker, taking a breath, nice and slow, bringing those hands up overhead, cactusing those arms down. One more time, forward fold, reaching down, taking a breath here, and then we're going to come up as we inhale and exhale, bringing those shoulders down. Awesome. Go ahead and roll up those shoulders again. All right, next, what I want us to do is we're going to be doing a wide forward fold. So bringing our legs out wide here. We're going to hinge those hips back, and you can put your hands on your hips if you want to, or you can glide those hands on the legs if you want as well. Make it your own here. You're going to hinge those hips back, coming down to that forward fold. If you want, you have an option to have those toes facing straight, or if you want to put them out a little bit, that's fine too. Whatever you want to do. My toes are mostly straight right here, right now. Hinging those hips back. If you're able to reach to the floor, put those hands on the floor, or just keep those hands at the hips or at the legs, whatever feels good. Let the head hang. One more breath in and out. Bend those knees, squeeze those glutes. We're going to stand up. Awesome, good. Go ahead, step out of that here. Let's go ahead and come to an arm crossover stretch. So we're going to bring our arm over and across, pulling that shoulder blade away from our spine. Good, and we're going to switch. Bring the other shoulder over, or other arm over and across. We want to make sure we're relaxing that shoulder down. We don't want to be up like this. We want that shoulder to be nice and relaxed as we pull away, and making sure we're not twisting a lot either at our torso. Awesome. Good. Go ahead and shake that out. Let's come to kind of a lunge here. So making sure we're on railroad tracks. What I mean by that, I stole that from another yoga instructor. So what I mean by that, and what she meant by that, is we want to make sure our legs are out nice and straight. We don't want to be on a tightrope, so we don't want to have one foot stacked in front of the other as we're into our lunge. We want to make sure one foot is just nice and we're parallel here, not stacked. Okay, so we're going to come out into a lunge. All right, what we're going to do, kind of pressing that back foot down. We're going to kind of do a calf stretch here to start off with. We're trying to keep this heel down to the floor. All we're going to do is sink our weight a little bit into this knee, making sure we have a wide enough stance. You can tell my knee is right over my ankle. We want to make sure we have wide enough stance, otherwise we're going to get into this, and that's really hard on our knee joint. So we want to make sure we're nice and extended out. Okay, and then pulling, trying to just, right now we're just working on keeping our back heel down to the floor. Next, we're going to adjust our hips, keeping them square. So we want both of our hip points. I feel my calf muscles definitely stretching and lighting up here right now. It's a little tight. So once I move those hips nice and straight, it's going to put a little bit of extra stretch on that calf. All right. And then what you can do is lean forward a little bit more. Then what I want us to do is take that heel off of the floor, and then we're gonna press into our hips. So we want this hip forward, this hip coming back. Gonna feel a stretch now in that hip flexor. Nice and slow. Moving up. And now we're gonna switch it up. Okay. So my other leg is back. My right leg is back here. First, working just on that calf stretch. Nice and wide. Coming forward. That back heel is down on the floor. Feeling that calf stretch. All right, then I'm gonna check in with my hips. I'm gonna align those hips. So I'm keeping this hip and trying to push it forward, while I'm trying to pull this one back. Okay, keeping that heel down. I'm still gonna feel that nice, a little bit deeper calf stretch. Then we're gonna release the heel from the floor, bending that knee slightly, and then still pushing. Gonna feel that front hip flexor stretch here. Awesome work. Nice and slow. Go ahead, come out of that. All right, next we're gonna come to the floor and doing some stretches here and some yoga moves. So first, what I want us to do is actually come to all fours. So when we're doing all fours, we want hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips here, drawing the belly, gotta draw that navel down to the floor into cow, and then we're gonna try to draw our mid back up to the ceiling into cat. So first cow, we're kind of tilting those hips up, drawing that stomach down, head comes up and through, looking up into cow. Then we're gonna flip flop, and we're gonna tuck the tailbone here, drawing the mid back up towards the ceiling. Head falls in between arms into cat. Doing this a couple more times at your own pace, your own breath. Coming down, drawing the navel, and then if we can exhale, tucking the tailbone, mid back spine comes up towards the ceiling, head falls in between. One more time. Coming into cow, drawing the navel down, tilting those hips back, and then we're gonna tilt the hips front. The spine comes up towards the ceiling and head falls in between arms. All right, let's go ahead and just kind of shuffle back here, weight over the heels. It's a little bit of a counteractive movement. Just coming back and forth a couple times. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna place one hand, we're gonna place it now in the center of us rather than it being right under our shoulder. Because we're gonna take this other arm and we're gonna come up into a twist. So looking up into that twist here. Then I want us to come swooping down and through. Kind of trying to crawl those fingers a little bit. Now we're trying to draw. We can come to thread the needle, so we can try to place our ear on the yoga mat, feeling a space in between our shoulder blade and our spine. One more time, coming up and back down. Good. Gonna do the same thing here now. Coming into a twist, opposite side. And then we're gonna swoop down and through, threading the needle. Coming down, one shoulder on the floor, ear comes to the floor, and back up into that twist. Awesome work, and back down. Good, let's come into some hip circles. So what I mean by this is we want to try to draw our hip and making a big circle out of it. So I'm just going to switch so you can kind of see maybe a little bit better what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is take my one hip coming out, then I'm pulling it back over my heels. Then I'm coming to that other side, pushing that hip out, coming back to neutral. Then we're gonna come back that opposite direction. So taking that hip out, coming back over the heels, and then coming up, playing that circle. I'm gonna do it one more time, okay? Hips come out to one side, drawing back over those heels, coming up to one side, feeling the outer hips really stretch as we do this, coming back down, around, to that other side. Awesome work. Good. Okay, what we're gonna do next, we're gonna come to kind of a runner's lunge. Love this stretch. I'm gonna hit two things at once. That hip flexor that gets really tight, and we're gonna hit the hamstrings, okay? So we're coming into a kneel lunge. So kind of the same thing as we just did as we were standing, only we're gonna be kneeling. If you need a towel or a blanket underneath your knee, go ahead and grab one. We're gonna do that same thing, making sure we're checking in with our hips. Hips are nice and aligned. Hip points are pointing forward. We're gonna come to that hip flexor stretch first. Then we're gonna send the hips back, toes are gonna come up, really come straight. You keep their hands at your hips if you want, or growing that down, knee, nose to knee, okay? Feeling a stretch in that hamstring. Good, then I want us to come up, and then we're gonna draw a circle out of this front knee, coming out and around, coming back the opposite direction, coming back and around. Awesome. While we're in this, I actually want to add in something. So again, if you need a towel or a blanket or anything underneath this knee, feel free. But I want us to try to actually come back now into holding this ankle. So we're trying to bring this heel up, and maybe you're not gonna have to come up and meet it and then pull it up, whatever you have to do. We're gonna feel nice, nice quad stretch. Good, go ahead, release. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing, opposite side. Kneeling lunge, one knee is down, other knee is up. Keeping your hip points rather than them being tilted, gonna correct them. Pulling my right hip back, my left hip is trying to come forward, coming into that hip flexor stretch. Breathe. Nice, and then we're gonna send those hips back, toes are up, hinging at the hips, nice. Leg, hamstring stretch. Great. We're gonna come up again, coming out and around, making a circle, back. And then what I want us to do is we're gonna grab this left, oh my gosh, my balance this morning. Grabbing this left ankle, and move up just a little bit here. Grabbing this left ankle and pulling up for that quad stretch. We're bringing that heel to the glute. And release. Sorry about that, my phone was backing up. Got a new phone yesterday, so it was not cooperating. So we finished with that quad stretch, right? We're coming still on our knee here. And what we're gonna do now is come into a back bend, okay? So what you can do is put your hands on your hips here, or if you're able to grow your hands down to your heels, feel free. We're just gonna kind of tilt out, pushing those hip points forward, looking up. If you want to bring those hands to the heels, feel free, or stay in that half camel's pose. Opening up front of this chest. Good, nice and slow. Coming back, come to seated on our heels, or just come into Indian pose if that's what's more comfortable for you. Taking a breath. All right, next we're gonna do pigeon. So coming out, so what can help is coming into kind of a downward dog here, and then we're gonna swing one leg up and through, and trying to bring this other leg down. We're gonna feel a hip stretch, outer hip stretch in that front leg, this front foot here. So what you can do is you can either tuck it for a little bit easier, or you can bring that foot out, a little bit more difficult, okay? You decide what works best for you. Stay here, breathe, or come to those elbows. And those that are professionals can bring their entire chest and head down to the floor. I cannot. If you can, feel free to do that. Just holding here for a couple moments. Awesome, nice and slow. We're gonna unwind, nice and slow. Bring that foot back, kind of kicking it out behind us and back. All right, we're gonna switch. So however you need to, coming down and through, hitting that opposite hip now. Taking a moment to feel adjusted, stretching that outer hip. If you want to come to the elbows, feel free, breathe. It's an intense stretch. Good. Nice and slow. We're gonna come up and coming out here. shaking out those hips. Hopefully they feel pretty good right now. Okay, let's go ahead, come to a side. All right, so we're gonna come kind of to a fetal position. So knees are up to our chest here. And what I want us to do is just bring one arm up and overhead. And we're gonna swoop it down and around without, we're trying not to twist a lot at our torso here. So we're trying to come down and around, opening up our chest. Back over our hip. And then come to the opposite side, coming up. And back down and around here. Then I want us to take the hand above and opening up, trying to draw that shoulder down to the floor. You can kind of move wherever feels tight for you today. Opening up that chest. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and release. We're gonna switch sides. So you can just simply roll over. I'm just gonna come over so you can see this side of me. Coming into fetal position, taking a few breaths there. Feeling good. And go ahead, take the arm over our head, coming back and around. Opening up that chest. Breathe. Coming back here. Awesome work. We're going to press ourselves up. So we're seated here. Again, we're going to come to all fours. A couple more things here, and then we're going to come to our meditative pose. All right, just going to open up the shoulders a little bit more. Coming to all fours. All right. I want to come to kind of a handcuff position. So we want one hand coming back and around here, coming to lizard with rotation. So this is a lizard. So if you want to have your hand right underneath your chest for more support, that's fine. So if you're only able to do this, great. Do what you can. The ultimate goal is to try to align that middle finger with our spine here, okay? And from this, we're trying to tuck that elbow down to the floor. And then we're going to twist and try to bring that elbow up to the ceiling. You're going to feel that in our shoulder. Woo-hoo. Breathe. Trying to inhale on the way down. And exhale on that way up. Awesome. Release. I'm going to switch. Bring the other hand to our back here. Bring that elbow down to the floor as we inhale. And then we're going to exhale, coming up. Inhale down. Exhale up. One more time. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Nice and slow. Go ahead. Release down. All right. What we're going to do next, where we are going to end child's pose, or you can come to Savasana, which is just laying on your back. So I will show you child's pose. This is a great low back release. What we can do is you extend in child's pose. So we want the knees pretty wider, but we want our feet together here. And then we send those hips over our heels. And then we're going to send the arms out straight, bringing the forehead to the floor. This is child's pose. So you can stay there, or you can choose. And this is where I'll probably end, so you guys can hear me a little bit better, in Savasana. So just laying on our back, your corpse pose. Extending the legs out, coming down. Go ahead, open up those hands a little bit wider over out to our side. Let those feet drop wide, just letting everything release. We're going to close our eyes, whatever position you're in, and we're breathing. Final meditative pose, embracing the good stretch we just got here. yoga work, some mobility work, which is so important no matter what age you are. And then keep us mobile. Concentrating on our breath, trying to breathe in your nose and out your nose right now if you can. Making that ocean sound, that ujjayi breath, trying to make an ocean sound, breathing through the back of your throat. Thoughts come in, let them come in. Gently guide them out. Creating this blank space promotes creativity, peace of mind, among many other things. Help us be productive throughout the rest of our day. Or if we're doing this before bed, this is going to help us to have a nice calm sleep, hopefully able to sleep a little bit quicker. Feeling grateful, feeling blessed. If you want to, you're on your stomach, you can bring those hands to your belly and feel the rise of your belly as you inhale, and the exhale, feeling the sink of your belly. Or just staying where you are, or concentrating on that breath, feeling good. Thanking your body. You only get one. In a couple moments, I'm going to have you take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. As we breathe in, I want us to breathe in creativity, positivity, anything that's going to help you to be productive or calm for the rest of your day. Breathing in positivity and exhaling any negative emotions, regret, guilt, whatever any of that is, sadness. When you're ready, inhale, inhaling happiness. Completely exhaling until you can't exhale anymore. Exhaling the negativity. Coming back to normal breath when you're ready. Let the eyes and face release. If you're squinting, let the tongue drop from the roof of the mouth. Feeling the weight of gravity pulling your body to the earth. When you're ready, I want you to kind of slowly wake up. So slowly wiggle those fingers and toes. Open up those eyes. If you're in child's pose, send the arms through, send the head through the arms. And slowly sit up. If we're on our side, we're going to roll to our right side. Bring those knees up, and we're going to press up off the floor. All right, that's where we'll end for today. I hope you enjoyed this stretching practice. Everyone have a great day.